Hello, everybody. This is our third Macro Master highlight. I should stop saying that because I'm gonna lose count real fast. But this is Mikah. She's here with us today, and David is also joining in for the first time.
I'd like everyone to know that it's Hulan.
No.
Not Hulan.
Not Hulan. Not Hulan, yes.
I'm surprised you got it right this time.
David has said Mikah Hulan for approximately the entire time he's known Mikah.
That's not true. It's like the first three live
well,
Q&As.
then you just quit saying it.
Once I get
That's one way to do it.
Once I can remember your name, we're on a first name basis.
We know each other.
Yeah.
Well.
That's my rule.
Yes. So Mikah, not Hulan.
Yes.
Mikah Hulan is here with us from Andrews. And David's phone just went off.
I was putting on silent. I got a
He's
text
the worst.
moments
And so we are gonna go over my 10 questions that I usually do, but we've got David here to really mess stuff up. So if we go off track, it's his fault, not mine. So the first thing is I wanna know your story of how you found Macroholics.
Okay. So Burgundy
Yes.
was who I watched. And I watched her for a good 11 months.
How do you know Berg? Did you go to high school with her, or?
We were actually neighbors, alley neighbors.
Alley
growing up.
neighbors, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know when they moved in, but they're
Gotcha.
elementary or something.
Gotcha,
I mean,
okay.
I've known her for a really long time.
Okay.
But we weren't super close growing up. I mean,
Okay.
we were friends, but we were,
Right.
not. We both had our own little cliques.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I became a mom and she became a mom and that kind of thing, our kids are pretty much the same age apart. And so I kind of like reached out to her for help. Like, what do I do?
Throughout the lifeline?
Am I going crazy or is this normal
Yes.
or whatever? So that really
So kind of
helped.
reconnected through your kids. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then they ended up being like a few blocks over from us.
Gotcha.
In Andrews.
Okay.
So that was fun, even
Okay.
though we still didn't get to see each other very much.
So you just watched her mostly via social media?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then she started her journey and we talked about it, and then I was totally that person. we talked about it. Yes. We talked about it, and then we talked about it some more, and then I like asked her again, and then she tried to help me get it, like do it on my own, and then I'm like, okay, I really need the accountability. And that's when, literally 11 months from when she started, that I was like,
Okay, fine.
yeah, I need to do this. So,
Yes.
so it started in November of 2017. The end,
Awesome.
right after Thanksgiving.
Right after. That's like a common start date.
Yeah.
I guess people are just finally like, I've had enough.
We get a little bump after every
major holiday.
Even like 4th of July.
Yeah.
Like 4th of July
or
weekend.
Super Bowl. Like
yeah.
we got like a pretty little bump there after
Yeah.
Super Bowl. I don't know if it's because people are with their families and they're talking about what they're doing,
Yeah.
or if it's just because people are like, that's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
I've had too many chips and queso. Like,
Enough.
it's
Yeah.
time for this to change.
Yeah.
So that's pretty common. So where did you start as far as like your highest weight and your lowest weight and?
Well, I started at 162.
Okay.
And today, 122,
Oh, is it today?
40 pounds. Yeah. So that's awesome. That was awesome this morning.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And if you aren't, I mean, I know you're just listening to this, you're not watching this, but Micah is a little bitty thing. Like she's a tiny little bitty thing. So that's a big change on her frame. So 40 pounds is a lot. So that's awesome.
I'd be curious where she falls in the percentage of total weight
on total
loss.
weight loss,
We have
yeah.
that on the spreadsheet. Like,
Yeah.
Because if you look at the most weight loss and then
Right.
you rearrange the list based on percentage of total weight loss,
Yeah.
it's quite a different list.
For sure, yeah, because you know, if you are significantly bigger, 40 pounds isn't quite as much of an impact. But when you're as little bitty as you are, it makes a big difference. So,
Yeah.
what was like the most challenging part of your journey?
The most challenging probably has been, but the most rewarding too.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah, because when you push through it,
Right.
it's probably been the mental side of it.
Okay.
The doing it for me isn't very hard.
Okay.
It's the or the logging it in and that kind of thing.
Right.
That part's not very hard for me. It's the mental side of it and telling myself that I can do it.
Okay.
Or if we're somewhere like that I can make it work, that I don't have to just throw in the towel, you know. And on the other side of the mental, but the like how much I have changed as a person through pushing through the hard times, you know, like and saying that I'm stronger than like the cravings. I'm
a lot
stronger.
of confidence building there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's been the most rewarding part for me is how much I've grown as a person.
And that's what I've talked about that a lot. Like to me, the journey through Macroholics has some to do with the weight you lose, but so much more about the transformation of your mind and spirit that goes through, you know, the continual, the consistency, the persistency of like choosing the harder choice over and over again, like really transforms you as a person more than anything. And that's my favorite thing about it. Like weight loss is cool, but like I love seeing people that, you know, believe they can do hard things when they never did before, you know?
Yeah, and that's like with my team, the most important for me, for them too. Because like, losing 5 pounds is awesome, but what did you learn? Because with every other thing, I don't think, and it's about the consistency and just doing it every day, even on the hard days. And like with every other thing, it's been, you do it for 30 days and then you're done. So how much do you grow? You know, as a person, how much do I like change and really get to the issues of why I'm eating? You know, why am I comfort eating right now? You know,
and I think that's kind of, David said it a lot, but like, you know, if your methods are conditional, your success is temporary. Like, and I think that's so important. And why Macroholics is different is that there is no finish line. You know, there's no, you know, point where it's done and you're done and good job and see you later. Like that's not the way we do things, because life is constantly evolving and changing, and we've seen people that have been on maintenance and then they've, you know, gone back on fat loss and gained and gone back on maintenance and lost, and you know, there's a lot of things you can do with your body. And I think that that's such a testament to that growth as a person, because you know, as you go down this journey and as your mind changes and you're more confident in your ability to do things, like you transform your ability to say like, hey, I'm not afraid to dream for this or that, you know what I mean? And that's why I think it's so important that having that community there to support you through those changes, you know, like Michelle Strahan, one of my good friends, like she, you know, we used to talk a long time ago before either one of us were on Macroholics about how much we hated running, and she's just getting ready to do a marathon soon. And so like just the shift in people's mindset that happens like when you know that you can do hard things is really, really cool.
And even, you know, that even goes into exercise and like with we all got the stomach bug like in February, and so there was like 2 weeks where I just couldn't go. Carly got it, Colton got it, I got it, Cameron got it, and then I mean it was just like all of us. So that was awful, and so there was like I had to force myself to get back into it. And that's what I was telling one of my friends. I'm like, in the middle of what we're doing, I'm like, it's all mental. Just keep going. Like,
you're talking to yourself. I know that life.
I just need like you know, you just have to push yourself through.
And it goes away so fast, you know, like it's just it
only burns for just a little bit.
It'll fly away, you know, if you don't, you know, that's what's so hard for me, and something that I've learned about my own journey is that like I'm fine if I can just stay on, but if I get off, getting back on is like the whole struggle. Like it's just so stinking hard. Even though I know and I've learned and I have these like things that I can use that say like, I know I can do it, and I know that I've done it before, and I know I'll do it again. Why is it hard? You know, why is it hard to get back on it? But your mind is so susceptible to what you tell it, you know. Like if you're like, oh, I can't, and it's like, okay, we can't, that's fine. Like I'm not worried about it. Exactly. So
it's an equally valuable character trait that you know, I think in today's world is less and less visible or present, especially just because like the highlight culture of social media and things, but it's this concept of perfection and appearance of perfection. And one of the character traits that I think we undervalue pretty consistently is the ability to rebound. You know, we overvalue the perfect streaks in our lives, the highlights, the times where we're really in a good, consistent rhythm and momentum and things are going our way.
Absolutely.
Because we see that so much more often.
Right.
And a character trait that I'm learning to like really see in people and highlight and be like, oh, that's like really, really valuable, important, is their ability to bounce back from their own shortcomings and from their failures, to just like
Air quotes,
the people, the people that like, things don't go their way and instantly are right back to it trying again. Those are people that I've, in the past, it would be like, oh yeah, well, he's just a guy who quit or whatever, or couldn't do it or didn't do it. And now it's like, that's the kind of person
that's the tenacity that you need to be successful.
It's a type of consistency, really, is what it is. It's the ability to come right back from shortcomings and failures.
Well, and all that to say, I think we're kind of on the same train here, but a time that you feel proud in your Macroholics journey, like where is your pride specifically within your transformation and your loss and all that?
Probably just doing it. The fact that I did it, and that I stuck with it. All of what we've been saying, just the fact that, I've been on it for a little over a year now, and I'm still doing it, and it's still something that I want to do. It's not, and that's something else that I try to explain to people, is that it's not a diet that you're fitting into your life. You're fitting your life it's a lifestyle thing.
Yes, for sure.
It's it's not a one cut thing, for you can do whatever you want,
Yep.
And so just the fact that I've stuck with it,
that's huge.
I'm not weight wise, I'm not to where I was in high school, but
but who is right?
I don't even really care to get there. But just the fact that I'm smaller than I have been since high school, just the fact that I've done it
and that you wanted to and that you did it, you know what I mean? I think that's something that so many people say, I want to lose weight, I want to be back where I was before I had babies or whatever. And I think that the struggle is that, and this is something that David's taught me, is that you get good at what you do, whether it's good or bad, you know what I mean? Like you practice life every day, and if you say I want to do it and you don't, and you say I want to do it and you don't, you get better at not doing it. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's something to commend you on, is that you said you wanted it, and there were struggles and there were hard days and there were times that it was difficult, but you did what needed to be done to do it. And I think that's an amazing thing to be proud of.
Oh, thank you. And I think too, I think I've struggled more lately, being more
closer to your goal.
Being more consistent, because I feel so comfortable in my skin. And so now I've had to reevaluate. I'm like, okay, what is my end goal here?
What am I trying to do here?
What do I really want? Because weight wise, that doesn't matter really to me anymore. I mean, yes, it's a huge accomplishment, but okay, what do I really want?
But now where am I? What do you say to that, babe? I feel like that's something that I hear a lot from our clients that reach maintenance or get close to maintenance.
The idolization of achievement and accomplishment is an interesting one, because you never want to kill that. You don't want to take that away from anybody. You want them to have that thing they're reaching for and striving for, and goals are good. Everyone knows that. And we live in a very achievement-based, type A rewarding, capitalist structured culture. And all those things are good, and I don't see any of them as negative. But where it becomes a challenge is when people start to cross finish lines, and then they see that achievement is not the key to happiness. Oh, wait a second, that feeling of accomplishment was great. Of course, they would still say it was worth it, but it hasn't fixed all my problems. I still have a life to live. I'm not done, and it's the gold medal symptom of you get the gold medal, and it's less than 5 minutes where you're oh, okay, well, what now? Now what? And so, what I say to that, it's a principle that I've gotten from Ben Bergeron and other people that I look up to, and anyone who I've seen as somebody who really has a decent amount of things in life figured out, is this gravitation towards process being the only real idol that we should be striving for. So applying a process that you are proud of and you look forward to every day, and is something that when you ask yourself, can I do this forever? Do I want to do this forever? And if the answer to that question is no, or I really don't think so, or I don't know, that's something you need to be spending some time and energy reflecting on. And so we should be looking at it that way, right? You want a process that is effective and is getting you towards goals and helping you achieve things. But if you're holding it like this if-then approach to life, like if I reach this number on the scale, or get this promotion, or whatever thing you have up on this pedestal, then I'll be happy, or then I'll feel accomplished, and like that's a bold-faced lie. Like that's accomplishment is not the key to happiness, and you're just gonna have to set a new goal. So instead, and some people can navigate life pretty well that way, just constantly setting new goals and just go, and they're just setting new boundaries to step forward through. But really what they're doing is they're living a process of infinite goal setting. So instead it's like, take a step back, it's like, wait, am I reaching for this goal because I think that it's going to result in my happiness and contentment? Or is that goal just a
distraction,
unavoidable result of a process that I'm proud of and that I think is effective and good for me? And it's like, when those things come, it's a really weird feeling of like, oh, sick, like bonus, but I'm already living the life I love anyways, and like keep them coming, I guess, but like that's not why I do it in the morning. And it makes you much more invincible to disappointment and highs and lows and all that stuff. So,
and I think that that's something to also discuss, talking more about the mindset shift that happens with successful weight loss. Like, I think a lot of people on the program, this is the first thing they've ever said they wanted to do and that they've actually done. And that getting to that place where you're like, oh my gosh, I did it. Like, I think that's kind of scary for a lot of people, because it's like, does that mean I can do anything, or did I just do this? Like, where do I fall in this like spectrum of people that can do things, And I think that that's scary for a lot of people to feel kind of overwhelmed with the ability to, I think a lot of people lie to themselves a lot of their lives that they can't do things. And I think when they finally do something like this, it's kind of a nudge towards the fact that like, you can do anything, you know what I mean? You just have to put in the work. And if you're willing to put in the work, there's no lie that you can't, So I think that that's really important to address in people that are going to maintenance, because, the feeling of invincibility, like David's talking about, can be kind of a scary one, So.
And when I had my FaceTime call with Burgundy, like one of the things she told me was that, for so long I've worked to get down to a certain number, that now I have to change my mentality that the scale's not going to change, but other things will still start changing just because of maintenance,
consistency,
and being consistent and training and whatever, And so now I just have to change my mindset. Like, where do I
can't define your success through the scale, and finding where you find that is difficult.
And where do I go from here? Like, what do I want to do? And that all this time I've been working to lose weight, whether it's through Macroholics or other things or whatever, but now I'm finally here. So now I just get to be proud of what I've done, and then just keep doing what I'm doing. Basically.
I mean, and that leads us perfectly into the next one. The best piece of advice that you received about Macroholics.
Or something that just resonated with you.
Yeah, something that you
found yourself
kind of
returning to.
Probably that I can do hard things. I mean, that's one of the things that y'all say in different ways.
Whole thing. Like, that's like my mantra. So.
I mean, just that I can work through the hard days. And even, you know, it's funny because you can like look on my tracker thing, you know, for my weights, and it's like this downward trend that's like perfect, and then all of a sudden it's like it's getting a little bit more straight because I, you know, it just changed for me. But then I just finally got to a place where I was like, I have to, if I want to get to where I want to be, then I have to hone it in. I have to do the hard stuff, and even though I'm comfortable, that's not getting me to my end goal by having another cheat day.
Right.
You know?
Preach.
So, yeah. I mean,
that's the struggle.
It was bad the past few months.
It happens to literally everybody.
I think that's it's the, so you're talking about this concept of like you're feeling empowered, you know, is the simple word for it. Like, if I want to do something, I can. And what's an interesting aspect of that is this perspective of like a quote that kind of encapsulates it well is saying that the road from good to great is the hardest piece of the puzzle. And what's weird though, and something that I don't think we have a discussion about, is like excellence, or whatever you want to call it, going from good to great, and it is in contrast to balance.
Yes.
It really is. And if you want to achieve excellence in anything, like being among like really great at something, other aspects of your life are likely to take a hit. Right, so you talk about comfort, right? Like, you've gotten in a rhythm of applying this system to your life in a way that has been really effective for you. You've been able to do consistently, and that addiction of achievement and progress. You know, you have to consider that and think about, is that really what I want? Because continuing to always make progress instead of just, which is just as admirable, which is maintaining and being consistent and just doing this for the next decade of your life or whatever, it's in direct conflict with the achievement piece of things. And so you have to weigh and balance that. Like, you don't have to continue to drop body fat or continue to, and that's a really hard thing for people to see, because they're pretty addicted to that downward trend that you've been seeing, right?
The reward of that, you know, process.
Yeah, it's there's a principle, the law of diminished returns, right? So if you apply the same amount of effort, eventually the return on that effort is just going to level off. And just applying that same effort, it's going to get you maintenance. You're going to maintain those things. And if you want more, you've got to do even more. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, like, I'm going to take it even further. But like, it's an important question for everyone to ask themselves, like, wait a second, what do I really want most? Like, am I going to start spending less time with my kids so I can work out twice a day? Am I going to start, am I going to be feeling tired throughout the entire day other than when I'm working out? Like, those are like the time, that's getting all my time and energy and attention. So all those things, I think everyone has to weigh.
I feel like this is like a summation of David and I's marriage. David is all about the pursuit of excellence and the 5%, you know, the last little bit. And I'm all about like balance and consistency and persistency. So we balance each other out in that way, but it's so valuable to have his insight, because it's, you know, not something that I really feel like is.
Well, it's something like, there's that Navy SEAL quote, moderation is for cowards. And I used to really like resonate and agree with that. And now I'm like, that's baloney. That's not true. Like,
moderation is for cowards that like to be moderate.
I know, like I'm scared of moderation. Like, it's really hard to be balanced and to do everything very good, well, instead of one thing excellent. And it's the reason why that's a Navy SEAL quote
is because he's on that side.
They are pursuing excellence in one realm of life. They are the best of the best at something. And so that resonates with all Navy SEAls. Like, moderation's dumb, you know? And it's like, moderation is the right move for most people. And so it's you have to know who you are and decide, you know, what aspect of your personality appeals to that. Like, I'm a little bit more of a Navy SEAL type. Like, I want to push the limits and see what I'm capable of in one area of my life. And luckily, I have a wife that's so supportive and helpful in not having these detrimental effects of that aspect of my life, where I'm not like destroying other aspects of my life because one thing is getting so much attention and energy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now the fun stuff. Now we can talk about fun things. What is your most eaten Macroholics meal? I love this question.
Okay, I was just telling Cameron the other day, when I first started, I ate taco meat all the time.
Just like
Lean ground beef with taco seasoning in it?
Yeah, turkey ground beef. We made taco bowls.
Yeah.
Just like
all
different
the time.
variations of that.
I wasn't very creative.
You want to just taco meat for days.
Yeah, it was like, well, and my kids love it too, so
Well, and
it's
it
easy,
probably,
but-
I mean, it helps your protein, and it, like, you know, it's just something you have to plan for or anything like that. So that's why I eat Chipotle, because it balances everything out.
it was like, it's always taco meat and cheese, and then I would do Fritos instead of like
rice or
just because I wanted that crunch.
Yep.
So
love it.
and
That sounds really good.
Yeah, and an ounce of Fritos is actually a lot more than you.
I bet it is,
think it
because
is.
they're like, you know, have a lot of oil and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you saying you got your results eating Frito pie? Is that what you're saying?
Hashtag
The
Macroholics.
Frito pie diet.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your favorite book?
My favorite book right now.
Okay, that's a good distinction. I'm all about it.
Which I wish I could read more than I get to.
I know.
It's like impossible with two
Yes,
kids.
absolutely.
The Great Alone. It's by Kristen Hanna.
Okay, never heard of it.
It's so good. It's about like
Fiction? Okay, right on.
based on history.
Love it.
Those are my favorites.
Okay.
That are fiction, but based on history.
History, but fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like fictional storyline set in a real setting.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like it's based in Alaska, and
Oh, I heard about
it's
this.
so good. It's about
They like go out there.
Well, they're like from Seattle, and they end up moving up there, and this girl, like she's a young girl in high school with her mom and dad, and they're like trying to navigate the Alaskan frontier, basically.
Yeah.
But they're like in this little town where they have to like go and kill things.
Yeah, I read about that. It's supposed to be really good.
It is really good. It's
Love
like
it.
one of those that I could not put down, which I had
the
to put down,
best.
but
Not the best.
yeah.
Cool. Okay, favorite movie? Current or always? Either one.
All I watch is kid movies.
Oh,
right now.
but I love kid movies.
I do too.
Like, let's talk Disney right now, because you know.
You're-
You know
you
the
love
love
me.
is real for Disney. Favorite Disney movie?
Probably Always and Forever, Little Mermaid.
Oh, Jared. You got a Little Mermaid fan here.
Yeah.
That's Jared's favorite.
That was one that I watched like all the time.
It's a good
growing
one.
up.
It's
Yeah.
a real good one.
Yeah.
David, what's your favorite Disney movie?
Oh
Like me?
man, that's a really
Mulan?
hard question. I've always loved the hero's journey of Mulan. I don't know if all
Why
things
can't you just
considered.
answer with like a normal person? Just say
So,
what your favorite Disney movie
To
is.
more specifically answer your question, Mulan is not my favorite
Okay.
Disney movie. She is my favorite Disney character.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
Favorite Disney movie is?
I'm gonna go with Wally. Actually, if you consider
Oh, that's
Pixar
the most
movie.
David thing anybody's
Yeah.
ever said. Whose favorite
Carly
movie
loves
is Wally?
Wally.
I
so
freaking
yeah,
love
okay.
It's a good story,
Yeah.
but like you don't go to Disney World to see Wally. Let's be real. Eva.
And Wally, it just like melts my heart for some reason.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. Well, and Kyla, my sister, and her husband went to Disney World over Christmas, and she asked me, she's like, "What's your favorite movie?" And I'm like, Up, Hero 6,
All of them?
Yeah. And I started listing all this. She's like, "Well, what do you want me to get you?" And I'm
Yes.
like, I don't know. I'd probably be happy with any of it,
It's the
but
best.
I mean,
love
they're
it.
all good.
They have such good stories. I love it. Okay, favorite person?
This one was hard for me.
I know.
No.
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
I would like not be able to answer this question, so
Yeah.
Like celebrity or
doesn't matter. Your
Period.
favorite person.
Hmm.
What about you, babe?
You.
Oh.
You're my favorite human.
Yeah. Wait, is there a non-human that I don't know about?
No, I just mean it. It's very simple. You are my.
I was like, who's my favorite person? He said me. Well, I mean, it's true.
That's in general.
Yeah,
It's who you spend your time with.
yeah.
It's who you relate the most to.
I wouldn't trade the time that we get to be together for anything, for sure. But I was trying to think like outside of our little world.
Outside of the sphere.
But I don't know, because that's it.
Do you have a celebrity that's like someone that you just like could watch like YouTube videos of them doing interviews forever?
I don't think I can answer that question. No,
I don't know. I don't really, honestly, I don't really keep up with much of that.
Right.
So I couldn't really.
Yeah.
Even
So tell me something that you're excited about, something that's coming up for you. Like, tell me about moving to Lubbock.
That's the most exciting thing
Yes.
going on in our life
Yes.
right now. It's kind of crazy because after Burgundy and Trey moved here,
Right.
we like jokingly were like, oh, let's move to Lubbock. And then we started looking at the houses and stuff, and we're like, wait a second, we could really afford a house here.
Yeah.
Like, we could really do this.
Yes.
And then Cameron tried out for the Midland Fire Department in August or September, and started there in November. And then finally started shift work in January.
Gotcha.
And that's when we were like, okay, let's, start
the shift.
making, making the plans.
Yes.
And then the Lord, we put a house on the market, and within 2 weeks we had an offer, and we found a house here, and it was just like,
I love it.
yeah, the Lord just opened up doors. And it's funny because people ask me, like, well, are you moving for a job? Are you doing this? And we're like,
Just moving.
no, we're just doing it. So
Yeah.
we're really excited. But
All right, well, we're so happy that you joined us today. We're going to shoot a video for YouTube, and we will catch you guys next week. Thanks so much.
bye.
See you later.